Okay, so now I'm going to add water to hexane. This is still our solubility test. And I'm going to add 10, we got water right here in the beaker. So I'm going to add 10 drops of water into each of our samples, including the unknown. Okay, so now I will mix each of the samples and mix each with water so we can see the mixing, see what it looks like. So now I want us to now note, so if I mix, so mixed, added water to hexane, is it soluble? That's what you want to ask yourself right now. Do you see 2 layers? Is it soluble? Are there 2 layers? When I mix, do you see 2 layers or is it clear? Now let's compare the Ligroin and hexane to water and hexane. So here, this is water with hexane and this is Ligroin with hexane. Do you see the difference in what is referred to as solubility? If hexane is soluble, you would have a homogeneous mix of the 2 liquids. If hexane is not soluble, then you're going to see layers. So this is water and hexane. This is Ligroin with hexane. Now let's do the same weight. Cyclohexane. So first I want you to notice what's going on here with cyclohexane. This is cyclohexane in water. Do you see solubility here? Is it soluble? Do you see 2 layers? I want you to pay attention to your observation. Come up with a detailed observation of what you can see. Now let's compare cyclohexane in water with cyclohexane in Ligroin. Do you see any difference? Is cyclohexane soluble in water? Is cyclohexane soluble in Ligroin? Do you see layers? Do you see homogeneity in each of the liquids depending on the solvent? Let's go to the next one, which is toluene. So this is toluene added with water. Is toluene soluble in water? Do you see separate layers? If there are separate layers, then toluene is not soluble. If there are no separate layers, if it is homogeneously mixed, toluene is soluble in water. So now you can come up with your conclusion. Now let's compare solubility of toluene in Ligroin. This is toluene in Ligroin. Which is soluble? Is toluene soluble in Ligroin or soluble in water? Come up with your observation. Record detailed observations. Lastly, this is our unknown. Unknown in water. Is our unknown soluble in water? Do you see separate layers? Let's compare the solubility of our unknown in Ligroin. We can see that we have a mixed homogeneous layer of unknown in Ligroin. So now, if I place all 4 together for water, just to help us come up with the identification of our unknown. So these are our 3 samples, the known samples: hexane, cyclohexane, toluene, And lastly, our unknown in water. This should help you come up with the identification of the unknown. You want to identify the unknown by name. You also want to identify the unknown by whether it's a saturated or unsaturated hydrocarbon. So all of the 4 tests, all of the series of tests that we have done is just to aid your observation in coming up with the correct identification of first the functional group, whether your hydrocarbon is saturated or unsaturated, and you can also come up with the identification of your unknown by name.